I grew up in a town in southern Utah. It was a very average-sized town. I'm a guy who needed some money. So exactly 2 weeks after I turned 16, I got a job as a cashier at this burger joint. It wasn't anything special. I got paid pretty good for not even working half the time because there was barely anyone that would come to this place. The busiest time this place would get would be on the weekends, and that for much wouldn't be that busy. This story starts at around 6:30 p.m. I've been working my shift for an hour and a half, and my shift that night would end at 9 p.m. I've only had four customers so far. I was the only one working in the front. There was two cooks and one girl was working the drive-thru. It was a pretty cute girl that I had a crush on. There was no customers at our burger joint for another 30 minutes. Till it was around 7 p.m. I get a call on the phone, and there was just heavy breathing coming from the other end. And then I heard a weird childish giggle, and then the caller hangs up. I then felt a little awkward at the moment, but I thought it was probably a prank call. About 10 minutes later, the girl that was working the drive-thru seemed a little shaken or frightened. A little bit. I asked her what's wrong, and she said there was a black Chevy Cruze and there is a guy who's in the drive-thru, but they aren't telling me their order. They're just staring at something in the parking lot. So I wanted to be Mr. Tough Guy, and so I yelled out the drive-thru window, "Get the heck out of here, or I'm calling the cops!" Then the guy rode it down the road, through the drive-thru, onto the main road. So an hour passed by, and it was 8:30, and the girl that worked the drive-thru clocked out her shift. Same thing with one of our cooks. So it's just me and one cook until we switched with the crew that would be doing the graveyard shift. There was about 5 minutes until my shift ended, but then I noticed just the most horrifying face staring into the drive-thru window. It was the same man that terrified the girl. He was just smiling, and it made me want to gag. The man slowly walked around the building to the front, and then he ran, and I didn't know what he was going to do. So I ran to the front door and locked it, and that was a life-saving moment. Because this move, if I didn't do it, heaven knows what that man would do. The man gave me a disturbing look, and then he smiled and waved. Then walked off. Then I clocked out, and I called my boss, and I said I quit. That is where my story ends. My house has a lot of just weird things that happen to it. I don't know if it's the paranormal things that cause it or I overreact. I am 17 years old and I still have another year to go to live with my parents, but I don't know if I could stand it living in this crazy house. It's not my parents, it's just weird things happen to it. I'll tell you a story once about what happened to it. One night my fan made a switch flickering sound thing coming from upstairs, and then the sound happened again and again and again, continuously for about 20 minutes. I checked the fan upstairs and no lights. The lights weren't on it, and the fan wasn't on, but my parents' bedroom's light was on, and the door was locked. I was thinking maybe my brother came back home and just was upstairs, but I looked under the little space that was under the door and I saw a slight little thing. It was my mind just got crazy. There was some dress shoes and with some jeans. It seemed like a very tall man, and I knew my parents didn't. That was not my dad or my mom. So I jolted out of my house and I called 911, and they came and they arrested this man. And this man had a very disturbing face. I cannot get that face or sight out of my mind. That man gave me the most dirtiest look when he got in the cop's car.